What is up, 511 family? We are talking today about governor's race, Spencer Pratt, transgender athletes. I have my friend Scott here.
Hello.
All this and more coming up on the Mike Harvey Show. Let's go. All right, brother.
Oh, that's it
That's
there.
it. That's the intro.
That's the intro right there.
So this is our first time back in the studio in a while. Your first time in like almost a year, right?
Yeah. Gosh, going on like 7 months or something like that since I've been in the studio.
Right. And so for those of you guys who don't know, Scott is a good friend of mine. He's a pastor in town. He's a business owner in town. Yep. We've known each other for what, like 30 years?
Something like that at least. Yeah, you were in high school.
And so Scott's been a regular on other shows with me, but Scott's going to be a regular probably on this show as well.
Nice.
So I just called him up the other day. I was like, dude, I need to be more consistent with doing stuff. And I know you probably like doing this too.
Well, it helps when you have somebody to talk with.
To bounce it off of.
And there's accountability. We got to do the show.
Right, exactly. So you know, one of the things that we were talking about that I kind of sent you the other day when we were prepping for the show, and go ahead and tell the audience about it. The Gavin Newsom video, like break glass in case of emergency. And for y'all who don't know what I'm talking about, Scott is a very good storyteller. That's like part of your profession, right? So you can tell him the story.
Yeah, no, we saw this video. And basically, Gavin Newsom was giving this press conference. And he's talking about this whole idea that the Democrats seem to be really, really afraid that there's going to end up being on the top two ballots and the top two winners of the primary. You're going to have two Republicans, not a single Democrat for people to vote on in November. And the Democrats are really worried about that, of only having Republicans there. And so I guess somebody's asking him a question about that. And he was basically saying, don't worry about it. We have an idea. We've been talking with some people. We have a break glass in case of emergency. That don't worry, that's not going to happen. Like even if that happens, we won't let that happen. His exact words were, "We won't let that happen." We have in case of emergency break glass scenario. It's where we won't let that happen.
Yeah. Well, what does he mean by that?
I don't know what he has hidden under his sleeve that just to whatever emergency he had. But it bothers me because if there does end up being two Republicans on the final ballot for November, that's because that's who was voted into that place. That's because the voters of California chose two Republicans to be on there. And for the sitting governor to just openly at a press conference, probably to what he thought was a bunch of supporters and friends and fellow Democrats trying to...
Well, it was the press, so it was basically...
Exactly, trying to allay their fears. Like, hey, he was basically saying, if the will of the people says there's going to be only two Republicans, we're going to make sure that the will of the people doesn't happen. Don't worry. We won't let the will of the people happen.
And okay, so let's talk about why we're even in this situation, right? Yeah. Why we have this top two voting system.
You need to tell us a little bit about this history because I don't know the history as well as you.
Right. And so
because it's kind of unique. There's not very many places that have where the top two vote getters then get on the ballot.
Right. And frankly, like we've been opposed to that in other states, and we've seen the mess that it's created in California, right? And the Democrats are complaining about it. The Republicans, frankly, like we don't like it either, right? But and if y'all are out there and you say, hey, Mike, you're wrong about this or you missed something, go ahead. You're welcome to fact check me. I don't pretend to know everything. Just sometimes.
A lot of times it's gonna be good for us this year, so we like it.
Right. So as I understand it, it was back when Schwarzenegger was governor. Right. And I do want to make it
like a long time ago, but it wasn't that.
It wasn't that. I mean, I voted in that election, and I always wanted to be able to say that I didn't vote for Schwarzenegger because I knew back then, like, and I was young. I was like 18, 19, 20, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, it was like the early 2000s, I think.
But I knew he wasn't a real conservative. He was a Republican. He was running as a Republican, but he was married to a liberal. Mm-hmm. And so he certainly had that.
But I think we would be glad to have that conservative of a person right now
over Newsom. In absolutely. But so it was kind of this whole plot by Charles Munger and Bueller. There's some guys Bueller out of the Bay Area.
That poor guy, he probably never gets.
I know, right? Well, I don't know. He's not the best guy anyway. But you know, and Schwarzenegger didn't know any better. Supposedly is, you know, this anyway. And there was and I can't remember the name of the guy, and I should have looked this up before the show. But there was I remember it was a Hispanic guy. There was a Hispanic, and I believe it was an assemblyman who essentially sold out his vote, and I think it was for like more pay or something to the more moderate or more frankly liberal side of the Republican Party. To pass the establishment wing or whatever you want to call them, to pass this top two primary or top two system in California, so that we would have essentially more moderate or more liberal Republicans running.
What was the face of that saying this is why we want to do it? Because that was probably the back end. They wanted more liberal Republicans. What were they telling people? Like, this is going to be good because it opens up it opens up where there's more potential. It's not just going to be two parties. Is that what they're selling it as?
Think about it. If we have, instead of a two-party system in the primary where we elect one Republican and one Democrat, we have a jungle primary or top two voting system that we have now. Then you have to have somebody who's going to be able to sway the moderates or even some of the Democrats in order to win. That was their entire goal, was to
But they sold it as it's better than having only two, that there could be an outside party.
It's like let the people choose.
Yeah,
right?
That's how they sold it. Okay.
But it's essentially not worked out to that, and neither side frankly likes it. So one of the long-term BHAGs, what we call BHAGs, big hairy audacious goal, BHAG, is to get rid of that system.
Yeah.
But good luck, right?
So is Newsom? This is a like picture of him at his press conference. Is he saying that he's got? You think he's saying that he's got a way to end that?
No,
after the fact?
No, because they don't want to end that. I suspect that he's shrouded in mystery. Everybody knows that at best there's unethical things that happen during the elections. At worst, it's flat out cheating, and I think it's more likely towards the worst side than the best side. But regardless, I think he's basically coming out and saying the quiet part out loud. He's like, look, we're gonna cheat, we're gonna make this happen.
And that's what surprises me, and it depresses me a little bit, in that he can say this in a room full of journalists. I'm going to quote on that room full of journalists who are not going to call him out on it. Like, he can literally say, hey, if the will of the people says this, don't worry, we have a way around the will of the people. And not a single journalist in that room stood up and said, well, hold on a second. Wait, if that's who the people voted for, what gives you the right to then come in and undermine that? Nobody's asking him that. He can literally just say the quiet part out loud, and nobody's going to hold him accountable. And that's what he's going to say in front of the people that it's friendly. If he's in front of a different crowd, he's going to say something completely different, because nobody double checks him. Nobody fact checks him. Nobody holds him accountable to his words. And it's frustrating, because anybody with open eyes can just see just how blatantly dishonest and how blatantly just like, I'll say whatever I need to say to whoever I'm in front just to look good right now. And nobody holds Gavin Newsom accountable.
Okay. So now let's kind of shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about Spencer Pratt. Right? Have you guys seen the Spencer Pratt commercials? Would you call them commercials or advertisements? But I don't know if they're commercials.
They're not running on television.
Social media stuff. It's actually really cool. I enjoyed watching them.
So it's I was looking at it saying, what's the ethical, what's the ethical side of this? What's the legal side of this, of showing images of them? And I was like doing some research on it and stuff like that. And it's basically parody. That there are some laws out there right now concerning AI generated images and stuff, but those laws are specific about you cannot generate an AI image of someone that looks realistic, as far as like where the average person could assume that really was the person saying that. And these commercials definitely are on the other side of that. They're definitely on the side of nobody would.
I don't know. I think Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom do actually legitimately look like clowns. At least they're clowns in the way they operate.
But I'm saying, in the actual video, I don't see these videos as anything different than what Saturday Night Live has been doing for decades, where they get an actor to portray someone and then they do their parody and they make fun of whatever it is like that. It's just now you don't need the actor, you don't need the production, you don't need all of this. You can just tell the computer, I want an image of Gavin Newsom in whatever clown outfit, and it'll just generate it and put it out there. And I don't think there's anything illegal about it. I don't think there's anything unethical about it. I don't think it's any different than, like I said, things like Saturday Night Live or any political cartoonist who draws a cartoon of a person and making fun of them, and it's all basically straw man arguments. There's not a logic to it. I'm not standing behind any of these videos as a logical discussion or even a discussion of any kind. These are simply just ad hominem, logical fallacy, straw man argument, but hecka entertaining.
So did you see the ad that's supposed to be an attack ad on Spencer Pratt? No,
that seems like a parody video,
doesn't it? Like, do you remember? Like, I talked to you on the phone, and I said, this seems like it would be like Saturday Night Live material.
Yeah.
It's like,
it seems like Spencer
LA
Pratt,
is on the right track. But no, it's like,
it seems like Spencer Pratt
in
made
what
that
world?
video, and as a parody of like, yeah, in what world is like LA on the right track?
Yeah, but that's what Spencer Pratt doesn't want to kill babies. I'm not,
right,
you know, or maybe a better one. Spencer Pratt doesn't want to kill puppies.
What's wrong with him?
Spencer Pratt wants to make crime illegal again. Like, what? Vote no on Spencer Pratt. LA is on the right track. Like, in what world is LA on the right track? I was in LA yesterday.
Yeah.
Last night.
I mean, it's really feeding on, and again, on the bigger picture, I think he's opened the door to so many that tool exists now, because I think at any time, any candidate would love to have been able to do a sketch where they hire an actor to look like this person and play out the sketch. But the production value and the funds necessary and the coordination to do that was just too far out there. But now,
like, what would it cost to put on something like that? Like hundreds of thousands of dollars,
millions of dollars to create those images. I mean, those AI is generating images that are nearly indistinguishable from what Hollywood can produce. Now, obviously, this was a little bit, it was obviously, over the top in some areas and stuff like that. But it's I think that AI could be a dangerous tool if it's being used to portray something that is absolutely not true, but trying to make people think that it is. To get an image of you and have you saying things that you wouldn't say, but it looking believable.
Yeah.
Like trying to fool people to make them say, look, Mike Harvey said this. I think that that's a very dangerous thing to toy with, that we're using that that people can use that and do that. But making parody videos, man, it just seems like
maybe the way of political future.
I hate to say that because I hate these things. They're memes. It's all rhetoric. It's all memes. It doesn't further a discussion. It doesn't follow logical rules of discussion. I absolutely in the past have talked about how I think that memes are dangerous and they don't help in the discussions. But at this point, I don't know that discussion is the way through. That's where we've gotten in our political climate, that I think it's important that we have discussion, but also at the same time, I think we need to be realistic and let's laugh at what's laughable. Right. I don't have a problem laughing at what's laughable. Like, this is I mean, in what the Batman version of the.
I mean, there were some funny parts.
There were some funny, but I think that holding it like Karen Bass is holding judgment over the person, and you really feel like there are people who are like, I just want to rebuild my home. I can't get through all this, and they're just laughing at him. It's like, that's what it really feels like.
Did you see who that guy was in that part?
No.
It looked like, at least to me, maybe I saw it, but it looked like who was the guy that played Wolverine?
Oh, look like Hugh Jackman?
Yeah. I thought it looked like Hugh Jackman. Maybe it wasn't, but
no, it was just the idea that it's capturing these videos. They are capturing the emotion. They're capturing the feeling that people feel. Like, yes, it does feel like these are people that just don't care. They don't understand.
They're better than us. They're sitting in judgment.
They're looking down on us like, oh, you little people and your little problems. We know how to take care of you. Just laughing, eating their cake and laughing at the people who are like, I just want to be. Oh, well, I'll tell you what. Like that line Gavin Newsom says in that video is like, well, if you were a transsexual illegal, maybe I could help you. It's like,
use the P word.
Those are the people I care about. I don't really care about you. And it's like I don't know if that's true, and it could be a straw man argument, but that's how it feels. The reality is, it feels.
Well, perception is reality, right? I mean, pretty much.
I don't like that. I want reality to be reality.
Well, but it is what it is, man. Yeah. I mean, what you want and what is two different things.
And when I was looking at this thing, am I liking this just because it's on my side? Am I saying this is okay just on my side? And that's when I realized, I go, oh, this has been happening on the other side for decades.
Right.
They've just been doing it through skits.
Right. Saturday Night Live
has been doing that for decades. Now, fair enough to Saturday Night Live. They do kind of poke fun of both sides, but
not as hard.
No, not hard. It's mostly aimed towards one direction. But this is the new parody. This is the new, and I don't know at what point legality needs to come in, and can you play on this, the intellectual property of others? I mean, they've been really balancing on that by, it looks like Batman, but it's not actually a Batman costume. Lego, they got pretty close. Like that looks like, the Lego movie, and there could be some legal issues.
I didn't see that one, so I'm gonna have to go back and look for it. But
the Lego movie, the song "Everything Is Awesome."
Yeah,
everything is awesome. Oh, now we're gonna get flagged. They changed it to "Everything is awful," and it's a whole thing about
whole thing about California, and
But I mean, again, it looks like the Lego movie. It has the same quality. It looks like it was made by the same people. The AI generation is kind of scary.
Okay, so what about this transgender thing? Which is, we know, like, California's been like at the forefront of pushing the transgender issue, right? But
even here locally, we had I believe the local Christian school here, BCHS, I believe, forfeited a game against somebody locally, like last year or something like that. I'm trying to remember. What is it, a volleyball game or something like that? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was recently though.
Yeah, it's recently. Like I don't know if it was this school year or not, but if I'm remembering that correctly,
I think it was last year, so it might have been this school year.
But it's right here in this town, and it's like, what do we believe? What do we, And it was a safety concern. It was like, we don't want young men playing physical games against our young women.
Right. And as a dad and a dad with both of us have girls in sports, right?
Yep, my
yours is slightly older than mine.
Yep, she swims in high school.
And mine is doing youth cheer. Like I guess that's a little bit different. They're not, but still, like like I'm sure my daughter's going to want to do volleyball and some other things, and I don't want her having to compete against men.
My daughter is hoping.
I saw Scott kids in like freshman, sophomore in high school with bigger beards than I have. Like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, it's not even close.
Yeah. And I know that my daughter's thinking that she might want to swim for college, and be able to do that. And
so what was the news article?
Well, the news article that came up was a school in California. I'm not quite.
Of course, it's California. Yeah, probably Northern California.
But a school in California, the CIF, what is it? The conference that handles all the sports for high school, stuff like that. They have changed the rules. They started, I believe, last year, and they said, or this school year, they changed the rules, and they said it's going to continue into next year. And basically, they got so much pushback. I'm feeling that because if there was a transgender male athlete competing in the women's sports, that whatever place they took, a girl didn't get that place, and whatever place they took in like whatever the finals, then that was one less girl that actually made it into that made the cut to go on to the next level. So they've changed the rules as if there's in the sport and in the competition that you're in, if there's a male transgender athlete playing for the female side, and they win a place, then they'll share that place with the next fastest or the next highest scoring girl that's there, and they'll add a spot in the cutoff to make up for that. So they're basically saying, we know this isn't right.
So we're gonna give you a consolation prize.
We're gonna give you a consolation. We know this isn't right.
Participation trophy.
Basically, they're doing a participation trophy for the transgender athlete. They're basically just saying you can share.
Yeah, that guy got first place, but then also this girl got first place.
And also, if you would have gotten cut off, we're not going to actually cut. We're gonna lower the standard there to let the next person in, because we're
gonna give the top 3 girls their places, and then also this guy can share first place.
And it's just it's ridiculous, because it shows they know, the people making the rules know this is not right. The rule wouldn't exist if they thought they were right. They know they're not right, so they're trying to let's find some middle ground so that people can feel good. We just don't want athletes to feel bad. That's literally what they're saying. They're like, we want to be inclusive, and we don't want to shun people. We don't want them to feel bad, so we want to give them a meaningless participation trophy, and you just go ahead and share the podium with this illegitimate athlete that's in the wrong category and should not be competing against you. Okay. Their presence in that sport, in that place, is illegitimate, and they know it.
We are going to be doing this on a fairly regular basis. I know we have some candidate interviews coming up, and I have some previous ones that I need to release like as soon as possible. But I'm recommitting. You guys are going to see a whole lot more of my face. You guys are going to see Scott more frequently as well. We're going to be in the studio, and I'm going to try to do some of this on the road as well because I kind of need to. But guys, I'm gonna call it. But Scott, final words.
Final words. You know what? I believe in honesty. I believe in truth, honesty, and
truth, justice, in the American way.
There you go. I mean, Superman can't even say that anymore. But right. I just want things to be legitimate. I just want things to be, honest, logical, and it just seems that logic, common sense, honesty just seems to consistently keep falling. Reality, the sense of reality, just seems to keep falling on the political side of the right and not on the left. Yeah, that's right. And guys, may not feel good. The other thing I want to say is Scott and I were talking about this earlier. So like one of my final words, I want to be get out there. If you haven't already voted, vote early. Because we're already showing momentum. We're showing more Republican votes in the early turnout than typical, which is a great thing. But we need to continue showing that because it gets encouraging for others. But I know Republicans historically, and I've been one of them, so I get it. But we want to go and vote on voting day in the polling place, which is really how it should be, but it's not. So the left is playing by an entirely different set of rules. Well, we need to get with the game and play the same game that they're playing. So that means turn your ballots early. What I wouldn't do, don't cheat. Like we say, vote early. They say vote early, vote often. What I would recommend you guys do, don't drop it in the mail. I mean, maybe it's fine. I don't know. But personally, I feel I need to go down to the elections office and turn it in there. In Bakersfield, it's down on Truxton Avenue, right by the convention center. Cool. And whatever they call the Centennial Gardens now, Rabobank Arena, Mechanics Arena, like it's got a new. I think it's Dignity Arena now. Dignity Health Arena, yeah. But anyway, guys, if you haven't voted, don't wait till election day. Get out there, vote now. And if you need help knowing who to vote for, hit us up because we'll share with you who we think to vote for. When it comes to governor, vote your conscience who you think is the right candidate, and don't let that be the divisive factor because you're still going to have to be friends with all of the people that y'all are arguing with over a governor race come June 3rd, right? Yeah. So till next time, we'll be back soon. Have a great day and God bless.